Because when I was putting lotion on my son's face, grabbing their face, I did that to her. She, ouch, daddy, what you doing? Look at my head.
And that is like that's hella funny with the lotion slaps, because with me in St. Louis, man, it was the thick petroleum jelly. So you imagine the slaps of myself was like mad stings, like, but you're gonna be shiny like a penny when you go to school, man.
Don't ask you on my watch. You can't now. You can't ask you on my watch. You crazy? So you know.
Right. Like Biggie was saying, you know, you don't want your kids to go to school from ashy. You would just want them to be classy.
Yeah, that's cool. I do the ashy part, but I want them to be classy, man. Word up.
Before the hood at 19, no tutorial books. You learn that the presence.
What's up, young scholars? This the Dad Cypher.
First and foremost, let's get into the book. I had a chance to thumb through, and I got the Cliff Notes version. I know I'm a professor, but I had to go through the Cliff Notes version of your text and that sort of thing. But man, the first thing that I really want to get to is you talk a lot about our children, our seeds, in a sense, teach us what it means to be a father. And you know, and that resonated with me, because normally I began each show and I asked my guest to say, well, tell me about your father's experience, meaning like, how was your relationship with your dad? But I really want to begin with, what lessons have you learned from your let me see, you have a daughter and 2 sons?
Yes, that's correct.
So what lessons did you learn from them that shaped you into being the father who you are?
I would say, let me roll up my sleeves, but my sleeves already rolled up. So let's dive in. It's beautiful. I start with my first son. Salute the young king, Joshua. As a man, my first son taught me to be my true self. That's what my first son taught me. My first son taught me to be my true self, because you can lie to anybody in this world, man, and you know as a dad. Once you lie to them kids and you start getting into that, what do I? Am I like BSing you from the gate, or am I showing you who I am, the fiber which you came from? So my oldest son, he taught me that, to be truthful, even if it was something he might not have wanted to hear, or something I might not wanted to say. That's what my first son really taught me. And overall, each one of my kids taught me a different lesson. That's the blessing of God gifted me with these beautiful children. Each one of them taught me a different lesson. My second son, which is my youngest son, through his birth, I learned how to be more of a protector and be more assertive. Because one of the things is, or the stereotypes that they play into, is we're cowardly as fathers. We don't take care of our women, our daughters, and our sons. We need to be nurtured as well. You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with giving the dap and a hug to your son so that he loves. So that, and compassion.
Right.
My youngest son, because his birth, he had shoulder dystocia, so he got stuck. So my youngest son taught me a lot, and still is. My daughter now, now we might need a whole nother show for what's but the one thing I will say is how to nurture a little bit more. Because when I was putting lotion on my son's face, grabbing their face, I did that to her. She, ouch, daddy, what you doing? Look at my head. I got lotion on today, but they usually animal, and she like, nah. So she taught me, outside of my wife teaching me how to, you treat a woman and you care for. My daughter showed me the raw raw source of that. So I'm very grateful for the lessons I'm continuously learning. But those is examples of lessons I learned thus far.
Man, that is like that's hella funny with the lotion slaps, because with me in St. Louis, man, it was the thick petroleum jelly. So you imagine the slaps of myself was like mad stings, like, but you're gonna be shiny like a penny when you go to school, man.
Don't ask you on my watch. You can't ask you on my watch. You crazy? So you know.
Right. Like Biggie was saying, you know, you don't want your kids to go to school from ashy. You would just want them to be classy.
Yeah, that's it. I do the ashy part, but I want them to be classy, man. Word up.
So now, you know, it leads me to my next question, which building on this idea of how children shape who we are as fathers and that sort of thing. So now that I see how your seeds have influenced you in who you are as a father, another topic that you bring up in the book that's near and dear to my heart is you're the oldest sibling and, you know, the big brother. And for a lot of people out there, they don't understand that, you know, the role of a big brother is unlike what we see on mainstream TV. When you grow up in a sense, especially in a situation where your pops may not have been around, the big brother is a role where you're trying to, you know, fill a void when you yourself haven't been really complete yet. So if you would break it down for our listeners out there, what was your experience like as a big brother and how that has shaped who you are as a father as well?
I love where this is going, because what you saying that is one thing I want to make specifically clear. And this is just in salute of my mother's crown. With that void you speak of, some of us have been fortunate where our mothers don't want to make us fill the exact void of our fathers. Because I'm sure you've seen, brothers, some little brothers become the man to mom. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Not only they're the oldest sibling tending to that, but now they become mommy's little man. And my mom was very distinct and clear on not doing that. And in that I knew, no, I'm not my mother's, that's not.
You're not a husband, you know, like a son / husband. You're not a son.
Yeah, it was very clear, because my mother from young, she raised me to say that the lesson she was teaching me was to bring the inner man. And I speak to this in the memoir. It's a thing where they say women can't raise men. And ideally, in some ways, that's factual. But what my mother showed me is that a woman can nurture the man that's in you.
Right.
That's what my older sibling role was. It was like, okay, listen, you know, the man that contributed to your dad, which we have an ultimate beautiful relationship now, but at that time, it was like, he's not here, he's not present.
Right.
In a single household, is natural order. You the older brother, mom got to go out to work. Like we just speaking of, these kids can't leave with looking like garbage pail kids, with empty bellies. So look, sometimes you can't go outside because you got things to tend to. Or look, you're gonna be up a little later because mommy at her night job, and the kids, although shout out to my auntie bake cakes, we had family in place, but ultimately I begin to start taking on that responsibility. Like, nah, mommy don't need to look for this person and that person, because you know what? I'm ready to accept that responsibility that's given to me. And ultimately, that's what that position in my life and still is as an older brother, you know, from watching my nephews playing roles in my niece's life and things of that nature. So being the older sibling really gave me the foundation to stand on to be the ultimate father, or to aspire to be the ultimate father.
So, I mean, that's super dope. And I would say, you know, as my grandma's oldest grandson, I always had like my cousins under me, and then my brother and I are 15 years apart. So the relationship that I had with him was more of, I wouldn't say, you know, of a father figure, like you said yourself, because, you know, your narrative is not even constructed yet as a father yourself. You don't even have all the answers. But I would say, you know, it does teach you lessons at a young age of what it means to sacrifice, what it means to be selfless, what it means to that you're, you know, it's not just about you and that sort of thing. I think it kind of evaporates that whole idea of being entitled in a sense when you grow up, and when you have to sacrifice a small part, a part of your childhood to assume this role, man. I mean, is you know, it's no other way around it. I mean, you know, we sacrifice because
we do.
That's what it is.
Actually, I mean, with that said, but shouldn't we look at these things as the foundated characters and traits that a man should possess? Because a lot of times, we're not fortunate through our transgressions or through our experiences to learn from it. You know what I mean? So if as young, and again, you know, praises due, I just felt from younger, I just felt I was obligated to do that. I didn't feel, even like you said, them times I looked outside and I'm washing dishes and cleaning the house, and I see my little homies playing manhunt across the street, and I couldn't go outside that particular time. Yeah, that might have dampened my thing, but again, I always felt I was kind of connected to a higher alignment to see the bigger picture in that. So yeah, I can't go outside now, but I'm helping keep my family structure. I'm contributing to that, and that's what young manhood is about. And having those lessons leads you to embrace who you're supposed to be as a man. This is things you're supposed to do. Like, I don't want no trophies for changing diapers and noses. I never, don't pat me on the back. Come on. One thing I give you is I used to always get upset if my lady, you know, she wanted to have her time to go do a nails, and I'm for that. Fellas, I give you a cheat code. They still got to have come on, we can handle the babies, brother.
Exactly.
We can handle the babies. Let them go do that. But one thing I used to always get mad at was, oh, can you babysit your child?
Yo!
Babysit? No, you babysit your child. I'm gonna tend and nurture my kid because I ain't no baby pop. No disrespect to them brothers, because we all don't create our situation. But that's one thing. We don't supposed to get kudos for this. If I do, I'm humble. But this is the position I play. And again, it's things come with the territory when you're talking about being a man and a father, man. Some of us got to suck it up, man. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think that's the lessons that we learn at that young age. Is that young age to sacrifice you. And you realize, like you said before, it's not like you're doing something special. But see, here's the thing. The world has had this whole narrative that we all absentee, which statistics and all of that stuff show that that's totally not the case. But, you know, so many of us, you know, and then also too, we have that myth that if the primary father is not in the house, that means that the kid is void of lessons of manhood.